Well, for more on the ensuing chaos in Rivers State, I'm now being joined by Arise Director of News and Politics Editor Sumner. Sambo, good to see you and thanks for your time. Well, we saw the first part and we thought that was over, and now this would seem like a resurgence of the feud between the former governor and the present governor. What does this mean with this with this development in the Rivers State Assembly? Does this is this indicative of another round of battle between his erstwhile godfather and the governor?
Yes, indeed. I would like to start by saying that I really commend the governor for still having the morale to still summon the State Executive Council. Earlier on, we had thought that the calling of that State Executive Council was in reaction to the developments at the State House of Assembly. But, well, they could have also discussed those things politically, but when the commissioners came out for briefing, they only talked about the budget. And if you look at what the commissioner said, coincidentally, they tagged the budget of renewed hope and consolidation. So lots of politics, at play here. And the other area I want to focus is when the commissioner says that, look, the Rivers State Executive Council met and approved this 800 billion. Which of the State House of Assembly will it be going to? Because we have 27 people on one side, that is the APC now, that they've defected to. And then you have 4 persons who are left in the PDP, and then there's one, because it's a 32-member House of Assembly, and then we have 2 factional speakers. And so with this development now, who's going to approve this budget? Well, let's come back to the question you were asked. It's very clear right now that someone is pulling the strings, and 27 members, which is more than 2/3, are actually in the hands of one person who is pulling the strings. And we've seen these 27 persons saying that, look, one of the reasons why they had to take this decision to defect is because they were being starved of funds by Governor Fubara, saying that he refused to release funds to them since all the developments happened in October. Well, if you were the governor, what will you do? Will you release funds to your political enemies? Well, that's what's going on. But the critical thing that they said led to this decision to go from the PDP to APC is that there's a battle at the National Secretariat of the PDP. Because for them to defect to any political party, what the law clearly states is that there has to be a division, a factionalization of the PDP at the national level. So where's the faction?
Not the state level.
Not necessarily the state level, at the national level. So they are hinging their decision on the court cases that we have on the position of the National Secretary of the PDP. Don't forget, a court had ordered Sunday Ude Okoye to replace the National Secretary, Samuel Anyanwu, who had to go and become the governorship candidate of PDP in Imo State. He was holding both positions until eventually he was asked to actually cede one, to which he resigned. But it looks like he still wanted to hold on to that. But in the midst of that legal battle, there's a gentleman called Setonji Koshoedo, who is the Deputy National Secretary of the PDP, who had to be asked by Umar Damagun, the acting national chairman, to stand in so as to prevent the chaos in court in case they have legal issues and they have to interface with the authority. Now, Samuel Anyanwu, who was the de facto national secretary before he went to contest for that governorship election, is an ally of Governor Nyesom Wike. And so we had been seeing the signal since when there was an insistence that Samuel Anyanwu must be brought back to be the national secretary of the PDP, even though he had gone to contest, or even though while he was holding the Imo State governorship ticket, the signs were there that that may likely be used as a loophole for whatever crisis that may develop in Rivers State, so that they will use it as a hinge to actually say, it's because of this that we are breaking out from the PDP and going to the APC. Well, with the video that came out at the weekend, where you could see Nyesom Wike dancing at the office of the Chief of Staff, I'm very sure you would add one or two together to get the result.
I'm happy you bring that video. You know how they say it, that there's a cry of the of the bed in the night and something happened to the child. But again, what does this actually mean? How will this affect the chances of the PDP locally or within the state and nationally? Because now Debo Ologunagba is already speaking, pointing to that part of the constitution you just also raised.
Yeah, and that's why we're asking for President Bola Tinubu to focus on rule of law. We must never allow our political sentiments to drive governance and institutional processes in the country. Unfortunately, that's where we are going in Ondo and in Rivers State. And the president has to be very careful, because the optics are not good for his government in terms of the obedience to the rule of law, following what exactly the rule book says. It's very clear if a governor is sick, for example, what should be done. That has been settled. No need for reinventing a doctrine of necessity. The National Assembly cured that mischief. Now, when it comes to this other one too, the problem is that the politicians don't want to obey the rule book. It's very clear. Before you can decide to defect to another political party, as an elected representative, there must be two factions at the national level in your political party. Now, the question is, are there two factions of the PDP at the national level? Well, the answers are there for us to see. So it's good for the PDP to come out and the Labour Party to say, look, the rule of law must be obeyed. But they shouldn't just issue statements. They should go to court and challenge it. And I can tell you from what we've seen from court rulings in the past, some of these lawmakers may actually be in big trouble if they didn't really clean up their stable very well. Because we are all clear as to the position of the national chairman in the PDP. There's an acting national chairman. As to the position of the national secretary in the PDP, there's an acting national secretary. So where's the factionalization of the PDP at the national level?
And again, listen to you now talk about all of this. It reminds us of 2019, what happened then. The same governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, was the NBA president then, and he spoke, copiously on Yaradua, who was ill then.
Yeah, that was 2009.
2009,
yeah.
Where he spoke. But again, now we're coming back, and he's recreating the ugly situation of 2009 in his home state. Now, before I let you go, for what's playing now, looking at Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, who's also, back in time, also said that he will never impose or become a godfather to anyone in Rivers State, that he doesn't even have that capacity. He will never dare do that. With what's happening now, how does this affect his political gains in terms of trust?
Well, looking at it politically, Nyesom Wike's political credentials are dwindling by the day. And I can see him asphyxiating. He's battling for political breath. I would actually advise him to really retrace his steps, to go and check what happened to Peter Odili. Let him ask former Governor Peter Odili what he wanted to do when Rotimi Amechi was governor. How did he end? Amechi defeated him. And how did Amechi himself, who wanted to be a godfather in Nyesom Wike's government, end? He ended disastrously. So, well, the route is familiar, and I'm very sure he should know that he's stepping on a banana peel at the moment. All these things, if they are being done to move the party into the APC and then provide a platform to guarantee President Tinubu that he can deliver, because the thing is that APC is looking at Kano and Rivers State ahead of 2027. The politics of 2027 is beginning to affect governance. And that's why I said President Bola Tinubu should wake up. He's been elected.
When you
the rule of law must be followed.
When you say the president
his allies, yes, his allies must not.
What should the president do in this?
Insist on Nyesom Wike as a minister in the federal cabinet. Tell him to stop allowing all the theatrics that's ongoing in Rivers State from causing more damage. Because we all know how difficult it was before President Tinubu could win elections in Rivers State. Now, with this, he will further damage some of the goodwill that the president has managed to enjoy, which he used to win some of the elections there. And now, Nyesom Wike as minister must be curtailed in such a way that he sticks to his job and not cause more political troubles for the president. As for Nyesom Wike, it looks good that he wants to make the optics better. But is this the best way to go to please President Bola Tinubu? I will tell him that he's causing more damage. So if he wants to defect to the APC, there are smooth ways to go about it. I mean, it's always been like that. In Rivers State, don't forget, Rotimi Amechi almost did the same. He had to move into the APC to appeal to the Buhari cabal, so to say. Now, it looks like that's what Nyesom Wike is trying to do, to appeal to the Bola Tinubu cabal in the presidency so that he will have his foot in 2027. But there are final ways of doing this thing politically so that the superstructure, the system of governance is not as asphyxiated, and we don't have a political crisis that may consume us nationally.
Sumner Sambo, many thanks for your time. It looks like deja vu.